We come here to remember those who were lost at the Silver Bridge collapse in 1967. If there is anyone in spirit who needs help, who wants to get a message across, reach out, feel free to do so. If you have any desire to make your presence known, you can touch that device and it will let us know. We don't mean you to any disrespect. We're not trying to take advantage of your tragedy. We just want to make sure that there's not any type of suffering going on out here. In a way, we're remembering something that happened that was pretty horrific. To find any presence of, souls from that tragedy would be pretty significant and profound. Would you like to make your presence known to us? Can you give us your name? Does anyone need help? Can you give us a sign if there's anyone here in spirit of your presence, please? Please, please, please. I know that you probably got 1 trillion people over here trying to get you to drum up some kind of activity, and I'm sorry about that. Us living people don't have anything else better to do. We're just fascinated by it. If they could talk to us and they couldn't, they'd probably be saying, well, why the hell are you out here right now? You should probably be snuggled up to your kids, counting your lucky stars that you can still. That's probably what I'd be telling us right now. I have never been in this area before our visit to Point Pleasant, but a couple of my investigators have. Since I was orchestrating the film shoot, I feel that I did not have a good enough idea about the layout and legend to provide an in-depth documentary that includes interviews with eyewitnesses and informed paranormal investigators. The fact that this film is more about true accounts than legend, it will be more difficult to cover all the details and accounts that took place. With that being said, we were able to document locations that were significant to the legend, and I will do my best to provide historical information along the way. We will return to this location in the future so we can document the paranormal phenomena better, with interviews from eyewitnesses included. I'll take extensive research and logistics to do the Mothman phenomenon justice. In the meantime, I will provide you with our first take on Point Pleasant. Our main focus belonged to the TNT bunkers. We photographed the area during the day and night, but we stopped by a few places during the day before we checked it out. The scenes in this film will not be in chronological order, but I believe I arranged and edited them appropriately for the film. First, I will give you the history and claims, then a sneak peek at the festival, and save the TNT bunkers for last. Hello, we're out here at the park where you can see the Cornstalk Memorial and this memorial behind me. I chose this location to kind of give you the history on the Cornstalk story at this location, because this is the last place where they put his remains. I'm not going to try to pronounce all the Native American names that was given to him, but I will provide those for you in this documentary. But his name in Native American tongue roughly translates to the stalk of corn, so that's where the name Cornstalk comes from. Born in 1735, to make a long story short, in 1774 there was a battle at Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and Cornstalk had became a Shawnee chieftain, and he was very well respected and decorated in war. And he led the Shawnee and many other tribes in the area in battle against the white men. During this time, in 1774, there was a big battle. About 140 U.S. soldiers were killed, and about twice that many in Native American deaths. Luckily, Cornstalk survived that battle, though, and he was pretty much forced into signing a treaty with the white men at that time, just to pretty much keep the peace and save the slaughter of his people, you know, from any more deaths that was already slaughtered in the first place. But in 1777, he actually headed over to Fort Randolph for a diplomatic reason. He was trying to keep the peace in the area, and when he got to Fort Randolph, they pretty much gave him a room and let him stay. But during the course of this stay, there was 2 white men killed by 2 Shawnee Indians over here by the river, and U.S. soldiers went out, found the dead body, pretty much got completely full of rage, came back to the fort to seek retaliation on the Indians they had captive there, and it just so happened Cornstalk was there, so they imprisoned him, and they ultimately murdered him and his son, because his son came to visit him because they kept him there for months prior to this incident. Well, that's pretty much where the curse comes from. They say, you know, the last dying words of Cornstalk was him uttering the words that seeded the curse in this area, and they kind of relate the Mothman to the Thunderbird legend, or how I like to call it, you know, a death angel, you know, type entity. And that story is pretty much the stain that, you know, is left in this area, you know, from all the tragedies that happened, you know, from the root of that. So the little bit of things that kind of make me think that perpetuates the curse is they buried him at Fort Randolph, then they unearthed him there and took him over to the courthouse, and they kept him at the courthouse until the mid 1950s, somewhere in there. And I think 1954 they had some amateur archaeologists dig and scavenge for his remains, and it took them, I'm thinking, 8 to 12 hours to collect and find 13 teeth and some bone fragments. And that's where they took that and put it in a silver aluminum box and buried it here on this part of West Virginia, next to the memorial for the colonel of Fort Randolph. So I think that if you dig up an Indian that already cursed you to begin with, I just think that makes it a little bit worse. I don't know if you want to play into the legend, want to play into the conspiracies, leave, you know, some room in your head open to that possibility. You can't, you know, rule out, you know, the rage, you know, a father would have, you know, dying like that and seeing his son die like that. So if I was Cornstalk and if I had the ability to curse somebody, I'd curse everyone for doing that. And I think everybody that's had a child would agree with that. But, you know, the Indians already been slaughtered like cattle, so you can say there's no curse, but I think that's laughable. Now that the seed for the legend has been planted, the next chapter of the story begins on November 12, 1966, when 5 men who were digging a grave at a cemetery near Clendenin, West Virginia, claimed to see a man-like figure fly low from the trees over their heads. This is often identified as the first known sighting of what became known as the Mothman. Shortly thereafter, on November 15, 1966, two young couples from Point Pleasant, Roger and Linda Scarberry, and Steve and Mary Millette, told police they saw a large white creature whose eyes glowed red when the car headlights picked it up. They described it as a large flying man with 10-foot wings following their car while they were driving in an area outside of town known as the TNT area, the site of a former World War II munitions plant. During the next few days, other people reported similar sightings. Two volunteer firemen who sighted it said it was a large bird with red eyes. Mason County Sheriff George Johnson commented that he believed the sightings were due to an unusually large heron he termed as a shitepoke. Contractor Newell Partridge told Johnson that when he aimed a flashlight at the creature in a nearby field, his eyes glowed like bicycle reflectors, and blamed buzzing noises from his television set and the disappearance of his German Shepherd dog on the creature. Wildlife biologist Dr. Robert L. Smith at West Virginia University told reporters that descriptions and sightings all fit the sandhill crane, a large American crane almost as high as a man, with a 7-foot wingspan featuring circles of reddish coloring around the eyes, and that the bird may have wandered out of its migration route. There were no Mothman reports in the immediate aftermath of December 15, 1967 collapse of the Silver Bridge and the death of 46 people, giving rise to legends that the Mothman sightings and the bridge collapse were connected. Folklorist Jan Harold Brunvand notes that the Mothman has been widely covered in the popular press, some claiming sightings connected with UFOs, and others claiming that a military storage site was Mothman's home. Brunvand notes that the recounting of the 1966-67 Mothman reports usually state that at least 100 people saw Mothman, with many more afraid to report their sightings, but observed that written sources for such stories consisted of children's books or sensationalized or documented accounts that failed to quote identifiable persons. Brunvand found elements in common among many Mothman reports and much older folk tales, suggesting that something real may have triggered the scares and become woven with existing folklore. He also records anecdotal tales of Mothman supposedly attacking the roofs of parked cars inhabited by teenagers. We did not set aside a lot of time for the festival during our 24-hour stay in Point Pleasant, but we were able to check out a few points of interest. Nestled in the heart of the downtown area was an array of vendors selling Mothman merchandise, along with paranormal groups and enthusiasts selling books, t-shirts, and many other items. The Mothman Festival not only attracts people who are interested in the Mothman phenomenon. Paranormal researchers travel to the festival to promote their research and provide lectures. Live music is performed on the riverside as people browse the festival and take in the rich history that surrounds them. Memorials adorn the riverside as historical markers highlight street corners and parks throughout the town. I must say that this experience was unique when compared to my travels to haunted areas and urban legends. The history and paranormal phenomena is celebrated in a way that seeps into your psyche and transports you to a realm of mystery and intrigue. Our main focus in the festival was the Mothman Museum, where any traveler who visits can learn the detailed history concerning the Mothman sightings and the government conspiracy that surrounds it. The question that stirs in the mind of an outsider is, why would the government officials be concerned about the Mothman sightings? Is it because people were snooping around the TNT bunkers and they didn't want the people to uncover something secret? Or did it have something to do with the Mothman directly? The mystery of this legend leaves room for much speculation and debate, but one cannot ignore that something strange happened to many people here in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Crazy picture right there. I know they like to portray it like a million different ways. It's like they want you to be freaked out about it. Guess it wouldn't be any fun if it wasn't scary, right?
We couldn't believe what we really saw.
What if someone or something could warn you about the future?
Half man, half monster, I guess you call it.
Never seen anything like it. I hope never do again. It's unbelievable.
But the very sight of this messenger filled you with terror.
Those eyes. That's all she'd ever say with those eyes.
What if it showed you a disaster was about to occur, but no one would believe you?
People were screaming. You could hear them hollering for help.
It's already happened. Not just here, but all over the world. And it's happening right now. Wherever this messenger appears, tragedy follows. What went on in Point Pleasant? What did they witness? Where will it go next?
What if? And it's a big question.
It's a story most of us have never heard. Now they're making a movie about it, called The Mothman Prophecies. But this is no Hollywood fantasy. The events and the people are real. You're about to hear eyewitness accounts from the past and profound lessons for the future. This is a search for meaning hidden on the edges of accepted reality. This is the search for the Mothman.
The TNT bunkers are the main point of interest during our trip because it was the place where the first sighting of the Mothman occurred in the area. The bunkers are believed to be the home of the Mothman, so our field work will take place there. We scout the area during the day and was able to check out most of the bunkers, but due to the vastness of the entire complex, we were not able to scout the remains of the whole facility. Investigating this area completely will take more time and manpower, but I believe we were able to give you a good taste of the strangeness that occurs here. When we first arrived at the bunkers, we started to experience a strange interference over our audio that we could not explain. It seemed to be related to the bunkers, but it is inconclusive at this time. We will offer you footage to let you be the judge. Diana? Oh, I can see there's people all the way down there. Do you know how many there is? Like 6 or 7? See, why would I get interference as soon as I step right here? That shouldn't have any, it shouldn't have any kind of interference. As soon as I stepped in here, honey, I started getting interference. What is that? It's bad. Can you start filming for me while I try to figure out this audio problem? Okay, it stopped. It doesn't do anything when I move these around. Here, let me take some pictures. I now will present the footage from the nighttime investigation of the bunkers. There were still some groups out there wandering around, but they eventually left as the night grew late. At this time, we conducted our EVP and ITC research inside the bunkers. The reason I chose to do this is because the bunkers provided the shielding needed to stop all the radio transmissions from being received by our spirit box devices. This is crucial in our research because we want zero contamination when trying to get responses. The downside to this method is the bunkers are reinforced concrete and cause severe echoing to occur, which makes it difficult to hear what is said clearly. I was able to mix the audio in a way to help the clarity, and what you will hear is a 6-track mix of all the audio sources, which include digital recorders, headset mics, and IR camera audio. We baseline the spirit box to ensure that we get good shielding before we begin. I must say that this audio is very interesting as we begin the session. One thing I will mention is the group of people that we met on the trail mentioned that a psychic sensed a spirit presence in the third bunker. Being an open-minded skeptic of the psychic phenomenon, I didn't pay it much mind until we entered the third bunker to begin our session. We will eventually release all of our sessions to the public in separate videos, but we will focus on the third bunker in this film because we believe it contained the best results of the evening.
So the third one, isn't that the one that was all burned up?
No, that one's way back there.
Oh.
This is the one that's going to be shitty getting the equipment through. So be careful, guys.
That's what I was talking about. Merry Christmas. Oh my goodness.
It's a little bit more cleared down than it was, but
Oh yeah?
right here, it still sucks.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Don't follow too close behind me, honey. You'll get whacked.
Yep.
I feel like freaking Indiana Jones. This one does have a different feel to it. The only thing my instincts are telling me right now is just to chill out and see what happens for a minute. We'll be lucky to see something crazy. We want to know the answers about what's on the other side of human perception. Is this land cursed by Chief Cornstalk? I know I would be very, very, very angry if someone killed me and my son. I'd wish hell on every white man, woman, and child. Is that what you intended? Is still a curse upon this land? Do you want to try taking some photography? Heck, I don't know. Can if you want. I just feel like we're just going to have to be patient if we're going to see something pretty spectacular, if it'll happen at all. fire this beer box up here in a minute. We're going to take some pictures. We would like you to show yourself if that's possible. Did it sound like there was women screaming again? Really? Getting cold, like a cold sensation?
Is what?
Oh, your left arm. It's going up. Still going up. 69 degrees now, 0.2. 69.5, 69.0, 0.2.
Just dropped.
Now let me go to fast mode. Sorry if I'm blinding you. Oh my God. 0.2 now. If I bring it away from her, sorry I ran into you. 0.2, so I don't know if we can. Is there anything that you felt before? Uh-huh. Right. Is there someone touching Diana? If so, touch that little metal antenna on my device for me. Is there somebody here?
Wow.
Okay. Can you tell us why you're here? Do you need help? you speak to me again, please? Is there someone here? Kind of sound like a yeah. Do you want us to leave? I heard there was a medium in here. Did you like that? We want to speak to spirits. We want to know that you're real. We want to hear your voice. Can you tell us your name, please? Is there any way you can use this device to speak to us again? Yeah, we hear about you. Come from a long ways away to talk to you. Yeah, something got something stirred up in here. Well, when you turn it on and you ask if someone's here and you get a plain yeah, I mean, what's the odds of that being radio? Can you do something else for us? Can you walk up to that device? It will sense your presence. It will validate that there is some type of energy here with intelligence, with their own thinking mind. If you feel like you want to make contact with the living, you can use that device to do that. Feels lighter in here. I feel it's like the opposite of pressure. I don't know if that means anything.
Ouch.
This is what we're going to do again. We're going to sit here for a minute, let the energy try to rebuild if it needs to. And I'm going to ask a question and turn on the device and see if I can get a response again. We think we heard a man speak. I'm going to ask you to speak again. All I'm going to ask you is if you're here. All you have to do is say yes, if you are. Are you still here? Can you use this device? Can you tell us if you're still here? Right there. All right, thank you. It said here. Is that what you heard? Okay. To me, it feels like it has to make an effort to do that. What do you think, Christy?
Yeah. Yep.
That's weird. Have we done an EVP session in here yet? Diana? Have we done an EV, just a regular EVP yet? I'm kind of curious in doing that. Because if we can get a voice to come across in here, that's going to be even better.
This handles.
Try to be very quiet. What was that?
You heard that too.
What was that?
I heard it too. I don't know if it was something outside.
No, it was in here.
Do you get angry when people come here? We don't mean any disrespect, we just want to talk with you. Can you come talk with us?
Let's listen to that. After investigating a few more bunkers, we are interrupted by a noise that sounds like an alarm or siren. Once we exit the bunker, we hear cars speeding away in the distance, and what follows is very chilling. At this time, there is no one in the TNT area, and we cannot be sure if what we hear is paranormal. We'll let you be the judge. 1/2 degrees, 67 degrees still. 0.1 milligauss. Just shot in the dark, baby.
The fuck was that?
What was that?
Sound like cops. Lovely. vehicle away.
Did it sound kind of like a police,
Yeah.
a squad car?
You think we should go back and see if the car is there?
Someone's getting the hell out of there. It sounded like a cop just hit their siren just for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. Squealing tires. Yeah. Squealing tires.
That was squealing tires?
That's squealing tires.
I was gonna say, that sounded like somebody screaming. And
That's what it sounded like to me.
Me too. Okay, I'm done.
That sounds like tires squealing to me. I mean,
Operate the camera, honey.
I'm operating it.
no, it sounded like somebody screaming.
It did to me too.
Do you want to go check it out?
Yeah.
Let's go check it out. We're not doing anything else.
Are you kidding?
I didn't hear any laughing or anything like someone was messing around, so.
Alright.
And we never see anybody back there for.
yeah, no. Well, except on back when we was at second, third bunker.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but
That's been about an hour ago.
Shh. Thought I heard something. Thought I heard screaming again. Alright, well, film, honey, unless you want to hand it off to me. You're not filming right now. Here, give that to me. You're driving me nuts. Here, hold this. We're gonna go check out the mystery screaming. It didn't really sound like a car squealing, but I guess it could have. But it just didn't remind me. It's hard to squeal your tires on that type of texture of a road.
Yeah. Man, that's what it sounded like. I mean,
I thought it was screaming. Which isn't the best thing you should hear out here. At any rate, we're going to go investigate it. We're probably going to go down here for nothing. And if everything checks out okay, we can always go back to one of the other bunkers we visited before, I guess.
I'll hold down the car.
You'll hold down the car?
Yeah.
So, Christy, are you enjoying yourself thus far?
Yeah. Give me that light on my Dana's like, oh.
Oh boy. I feel that B word coming up again. No, what it probably was people were about to leave and they're just messing around and they just decided to let out a blood-curdling scream before they left.
They could have had a siren too, so.
Because that first sound was like a cop siren getting just blipped on for a second. Then a scream sound. Dodging spider webs. I see them. The light is shining off of them.
Alright, we'll just don't fall.
Oh, I won't fall. I can see where I'm going. Jesus Christ.
What'd you do?
That damn frog or fish or whatever it was made me jump. Just wasn't ready for it, man. Wasn't fair. Caught me off guard.
Well, get on the trail.
I'm on the
There.
trail. Screw you guys.
Why is that glowing?
I've seen that when I came through too.
Why are they glowing?
Lightning bug.
Lightning bug?
They're down
In the brush or in the water? Here, we'll kill all your lights, see if we can see something glowing.
Yeah.
See? Huh, why is that glowing?
The glow bugs. Don't step on them, you might sneak in them.
But they only flash when to go
That is weird.
to find the rest of them.
Oh my god.
Look at them. Look at that. Why is that glowing?
Try to pick one of them up.
The hell? No.
I would if I wasn't holding this stupid camera. Here, hold this camera.
No.
Hold this freaking camera!
Is it a bug down there or what?
They look like lightning bugs.
Don't fall in there.
Now, I can't see it when the light's
Right
on.
here. There's one right here.
There's one right here, Dustin.
No, I just went out.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know.
They're going out.
Well, stop it.
There's one right by your foot.
Ah!
Don't pull
I'm
it.
good. I'm far enough away from it. I can't get one, dude. It's too hard. Alright.
Take the camera.
But there is, it's like, I don't know what it is. It's fucking radioactive goo for all I know. Look, there's one over there. You can't see it on the IR, of course, but
There's one right there.
Do something.
let's turn the IR off, see if we can see it then.
There's something living over there in the water.
I don't see any eyeballs. Well, I heard that thing jump in, whatever it was back there that startled me.
Right there, Jared.
Did you hear that? There's like a cough right in there.
Jared.
I'm ready to go.
Okay, it's starting to get a little weird.
Let's go.
Shut up. I don't know. Just sit tight for a second. Shit's starting to happen. I don't want to fucking run away from it.
What's up with the cops and everything?
I don't know.
I swear if I go back in, I have no vehicle.
Oh, I'm gonna fly all off the handle. Okay, well, we're seeing traffic up there, so there's people moving around. I definitely heard something over there.
There, like whisper or something.
It was like a cough almost, like a breathy voice right over there. Oh, you would know if there was someone in there. They'd make all kinds of racket.
There might be the pond over there too. I don't know.
That's density right there. You would sound like fucking Bigfoot coming through there. Yeah, it was weird there for a second. I got Christy's heart rate going a little bit.
There's nobody in there.
No, there can't.
Uh-uh.
And if there is, they have no life because they would have to sit there and not move. Okay. Look for evidence of squealing tires. I see it right there at your feet.
But were they there before?
No. Hell, I can't remember if that was here before.
I don't know. Looks like just the middle of the road. It's all the way through there.
Oh, that's not rubber.
Yeah.
That's just where the texture of them. I mean, it will sound like a low grumbly, like a sound if you squealed it out here. It wouldn't have a high-pitched sound. Well, there's no doubt in my mind. I just want, just for debunking purposes, trying to work through that. I would want to know if it was just someone screaming to mess around. It sounded like a legit scream.
Why would there be a cop siren?
I don't know. Like, if it was all the way up here, would it have sounded like that?
It sounded too close.
If you have made it this far, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this film in its entirety. It was difficult getting in all the history and lore that makes this case very incredible and complex. I hope you were able to learn some interesting facts about the Mothman legend and get an inside look at the landscape and festivities. We believe that we came in contact with disembodied entities in the third TNT bunker, and we were able to establish good communication with them. We are still unsure whether to believe what we captured supported the existence of Mothman and has left us with some unanswered questions. Were the spirits we spoke to dead soldiers, or were they wandering souls, desperate to reach out for help? We may never know the answer to these questions, but that will not stop us in making a valiant effort to seek the truth. We will be back to Point Pleasant, West Virginia to investigate again, but until then, hold your children tight and count your blessings. You never know when tragedy will strike or when the harbinger of death will bid you a final farewell.